So Funela, welcome back.
Thanks,
and
Ash.
We are going to discuss self-care. And self-care is empowering well-being with daily practices.
Yes.
And this is a very important aspect because self-care, what I have seen in the last several decades is very poor. And paradoxically, I've seen a lot of highly accomplished professionals.
Yeah.
And even in them, sometimes I'm kind of very surprised and amused at that it could be much better.
Do you find yourself thinking, how can you not know this? How come you're not doing this? And sometimes the thing that I get with my clients is people go, and I've done this myself, you join a gym and then maybe you don't go, or you go once in a blue moon. So you know that there's something there you should be doing, but somehow you can't attach to it. And if you feel you should be doing something, you're not really feeling it. You're not really attaching to needing it.
And it's common sense is not always common.
Yeah, true.
Common practices, which by common sense should be a day-to-day practices, is not common.
Yeah.
Because people are not doing them regularly.
Yeah.
So this is a foundation for everything. Because unless and until... Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah, can I just share the picture here? Because I think this speaks really well.
So this is like an Olympic ring, and I chose the Olympic ring because Olympians to me are the pinnacle of fitness. Would you agree with that?
Yes. Yeah.
Now, the fitness in different five rings, as you can see, is physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, and social.
Okay.
In all areas, and they are all very much linked to each other.
Okay.
So with physical, you could say regular exercises.
Yeah.
Whether it is walking, whether it is strength training.
Yeah.
But it is very important to have that levels of energy if you want to accomplish things.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if you want to have a healthy life.
So it sounds to me this is not only reactive, it's something that's proactive. How can I start out from a good place? What can I do?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then emotional. What are the practices you do to look after your emotional well-being?
Yeah.
What are the practices you do regularly for your spiritual well-being and connecting to your deeper purpose?
Yeah. Yeah.
Social well-being is very important.
Yeah.
What do you do to connect with your family and friends on a day-to-day basis? So in the self-care section, self-care chapter, we talk more about what are the blocks.
Okay. Yeah.
What are the challenges?
That's really important.
Why people are not able to do it?
Yeah.
It helps them to take account and measure where they are at any given point of time.
Of course. And in coaching, we always look at what are the obstacles and what are the resources? What can we do?
Exactly.
So we're taking a look at that. Also seems to me like you're taking a very holistic approach, that everything in us, everything in our lives affects everything else. So how can we have some control over the environments that we're in with all of those different aspects of ourself? And I wondered, Ash, actually, if you could tell me a bit about your own self-care journey, because I've heard you speak about that over the years in our coaching relationship, and I think that could really reveal something helpful here.
Yeah, I have to accept here that self-care is not easy.
Yeah.
If as a doctor, in a busy work environment, even to have lunch at the right time, I've become much better. And across the profession, I'm talking about in healthcare, I've seen many of my colleagues struggle with that.
Yeah.
Because people and professionals, they have some deep-rooted habits of overwork,
of course,
of just pushing themselves.
Yeah.
So much so that it's become a part of their really deep-rooted habits.
Yeah.
So, definitely I did not realize this earlier. Like I would say a decade back, I was not very good at the self-care practices.
Okay.
When I came to realize, I would say in the last 7-8 years, I've become much better.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go into the reasons of why to start with. They were not very great. As I said, one of the things is that the kind of people who are attracted to healthcare have a kind of ingrained habit of really pushing themselves very hard. And I'm sure in other professions we have similar personalities.
Yeah.
What we call A-type personalities. Now, what I have started doing, at least in the last 6-7 years, that I take a stock every 3 months.
Okay, so self-reflection.
Self-reflection.
Yeah.
Self-reflection about the self-care practices.
Yeah.
So I use Institute of Functional Medicine questionnaire at this point of time, which has 10 questions in physical, 10 questions in emotional, professional, social self-care, and you are able to give yourself a score out of 50 in each of these 4 different dimensions. And that helps us get a stock of where we are in all these different areas.
Yeah.
So the areas which you feel are slightly underdeveloped, then you can work with your family or with your coach to find out why you are not doing so well in that area.
Yeah, you can bring a bit more in. And that's the thing with an accountability partner. You're not going to go along to your coach and they're going to wag their finger at you and have a go at you. What they're going to do is help you analyze, well, if I'm not giving that what it needs for me, why? What's going on there? What can I find in myself that's going to help me? Yeah.
Absolutely. I would add one more point to that, Funela. I remember being in India in 2 years back in 2022, and I came to know about a very rich businessman who was a billionaire, and he died at the age of 64.
Okay, which is not that old, really.
It's not that old.
Yeah.
And he mentioned that he lost the battle against his eating and drinking habits.
Okay.
Now, a very rich, accomplished, and a wealthy individual, a billionaire, high value on wealth creation, high levels of discipline in wealth creation, but having high levels of discipline does not mean that you have it in all the areas. And so he acknowledged that I was highly accomplished in wealth creation, but it came to self-care, I had lost the battle with drinking, with addiction to alcohol, and food. And they develop diabetes and different complications. And I see myself in my patients, sometimes highly accomplished, that some areas are poorly managed. And when we are not able to do that in that areas, then we set up structures, external structures. So it will come again with self-awareness that these are the areas I'm doing well. And the areas which I am not able to do well, what are the structures I need to put? And also there has to be an awareness that if I don't do this,
there are consequences.
What are the consequences? What are the costs? Am I going to get a heart attack if my cholesterol is high? And I'm eating all the wrong foods, and I see it happening in people I know. Somebody's had a heart attack, somebody's had a different health issue. And if I am not able to do regular exercise or eat healthy, this is what is going to come to me. So that awareness has to be there. And if the person realizes that he's not able to do it himself, then he can get some external support.
So it's about that self-regulation. And if that self-regulation feels hard, how can you be supported? How can you find support? Is it about having an accountability partner? That could be your coach. It might be a friend who wants to tackle some aspect of themselves that chimes with what you're missing. So maybe you'll go to the gym together. Maybe you'll go for a run together. It's about just, isn't it, reflecting on what's that thing? Who can help? Because we don't have to be on our own. We don't have to be on our own. We're humans and we need other humans. And it's about just finding what's the environment, what's going to help me. And it needn't be a catastrophic consequence we're thinking about, that there could be catastrophic consequences we want to avoid. It might also be that we're just not achieving what we think we can achieve. Maybe we just feel we've got more in us. How do I bring that out? How much more creative would I be with 8 hours sleep rather than 6 hours sleep? And it's not about beating ourselves up. It's just, okay, what's going to help me? What might help me feel a bit better?
Absolutely. And having that energy levels to be able to accomplish what we want to do and have that creativity.
Yeah.
So, Fonella, thank you very much. I think
you're so welcome.
We have really taken a very holistic view of the self-care, and we'll get back to this as and when needed.
Perfect.
And let's get on to self-discipline, which I feel is the number one skill.
Okay.
Out of all the skills I'm talking about in this book.
If you enjoyed today's episode, we'd greatly appreciate it if you could leave a 5-star review, a like, or subscribe on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you listen to your podcasts. Your support helps us reach more people looking to transform their stress into new comfort. We'd love to hear your thoughts, so don't forget to comment and share. For more tips and updates, please be sure to check out our social media links in the description box below. We can't wait to have you with us next time as we continue this journey towards turning stress into resilience. Remember, it's not the stress itself, but how we rise above it that defines our strength. So stay resilient and keep thriving, and we will see you next time.